You know that sinking feeling you get when a certain person walks into the room? Your chest tightens, your mind braces. You know something is coming. A snide remark, a guilt trip, a way of twisting things until you feel like you're the problem. Sometimes these people are family. Sometimes they are co-workers. Sometimes they are your boss. And if you've ever thought, I can't escape them, you're not alone. Narcissists and toxic people can be anywhere. And if we don't know how to protect ourselves, they can drain our energy, damage our self worth, and even make us doubt reality. Today, we're going to talk about how to protect yourself, not just in your personal life, but also in the workplace. And to make this real, I'm going to share stories that might feel a little too familiar. In part one of this episode, I'm going to talk about understanding the enemy. Who is the enemy? Before we protect ourselves, we have to understand what we're dealing with. A narcissist isn't just someone who is confident or self centered, it's someone who truly lacks empathy, craves control, and sees people as tools, things to use, not human beings to connect with. Toxic people may not be full blown narcissists, but they have a pattern that harms others. That pattern can come in form of constant criticism, manipulation, or a need to bring others down to feel better about themselves. A friend of mine, let's call her Lena, she started a new job at a marketing agency. Her boss would compliment her in private, but in meetings, he would take credit for her ideas and make subtle digs at her competence. When she tried to speak up, he would say, "You're too sensitive. That's not what I meant." This is gaslighting. That is gaslighting. It makes you question your own perspective of events. Now, here's the thing, people like this exist in families too. It might be the cousin who mocks every achievement you share, or the parent who guilt trips you into doing what they want. And this makes you feel selfish for having boundaries. Part 2. Let's talk about why they target you. They are not random in their choices. Narcissists and toxic people often target those who are empathic, hardworking, and conscientious. Why? Why do they do this? They do this because these traits make you a perfect supply for their ego. At work, they want someone who will do the heavy lifting without questioning too much. At home, they want someone who will put their feelings first, who will avoid conflict to keep the peace. Lena's boss noticed she stayed late, fixed mistakes quietly, and never complained. That made her an easy target. And in the same way, if you've ever been the peacekeeper in your family, you may have noticed that certain relatives always seem to push your buttons. This is because they know you will bend before you break. Let me talk about strategies for the workplace. Here is the truth, and a hard truth at that. You might not be able to change them, but you can show how much access they have to you. Tip 1. Keep it professional and in writing. If you're dealing with a toxic coworker or boss, avoid discussing personal matters. Document everything. Keep emails. Take notes after meetings and have witnesses where possible. I knew someone named Marcus. Marcus worked under a micromanaging supervisor. The supervisor would deny giving certain instructions until Marcus started sending recap emails after every conversation. Suddenly, there was a paper trail. The gaslighting stopped. Keeping documents and recording conversations helped stop this. It worked like magic. Tip number 2. Set clear boundaries. If they interrupt you or dismiss your ideas in meetings, don't match their hostility, but do speak with calm firmness. You can say, I would like to finish my thoughts before moving on. Tip number 3. Build allies. You see, narcissists, one thing about them, they often try to isolate their targets. Therefore, strengthen your network at work. Have regular check ins with colleagues. Build relationships across teams. When you have allies, you're harder to target. At least they know you have friends at work who you speak to and who are also watching or have certain ideas of what is going on. Tip number 4. Limit emotional engagement. Don't feed their drama. Use the grey rock method. Keep responses short, unemotional, and uninteresting. Now let's talk about strategies for home in part 4 of this episode. At home, things can get more complicated. You can quit a job, but family isn't so simple. So here is what to do. Tip number 1. Set emotional boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls. They are rules for what you will and won't allow in your life. You can say, I'm not going to discuss this topic, especially if it's something you know you don't want to speak about because of how it makes you feel. You can also say, if you speak to me that way, I will leave the conversation. So know your boundaries and apply them with firmness. A listener once told me about a sister who constantly criticized her parenting. After years of silent treatment, she finally said, if you continue to insult my parenting, we won't talk about my kids anymore. It wasn't easy, but over time, the sister learned she couldn't cross that line without losing access. Tip number 2. Reduce exposure when needed. Sometimes, the healthiest choice is distance. You can love someone and still limit how much time you spend with them. You don't need to show up every time or make calls every time. Just keep that distance. Let everyone know you've set your boundaries. Tip number 3. Protect your self-worth. Don't let their voice replace your own inner voice. Write down affirmations. Keep reminders of your strengths. Surround yourself with people who respect you. Tip number 4. Have an emotional support system. These could be friends, therapy, or support groups. When you have outside validation, it's harder for toxic people to distort your reality. In part 5 of this episode, I will talk about how to protect your peace everywhere. Whether it's home or work, the key is to stop giving them emotional fuel. Ask yourself, does this person deserve access to my energy? Do they? Does this person really deserve this energy I am giving? Number 2 question. Ask yourself, do I need to respond, or is silence more powerful? The third question. Am I acting out of fear or out of self-respect? Now, this is a moment of reflection. Think of one person who drains you the most right now. Picture them. Now imagine yourself behind a glass wall. You can see them, but their words can't touch you. That wall is your boundaries in action. You are allowed to protect yourself. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to choose peace over pleasing others. You may not always be able to choose who's around you, but you can choose what part of you they get. Narcissists and toxic people will always exist. But when you understand them, when you guard your boundaries, when you build a life filled with healthier connections, you take away that power and they never have their power again. Your peace is yours. Protect it. And you are worth protecting. Always remember, I'm sending you love always.